Hi, it's Jen from Acadian Accounting Education, and today we are going to practice adding an invoice and receiving payment. So if you want to grab a copy of the exercise, be sure to click on the link in the description below, and let's get started. All right, so here we are, and this exercise is being pulled from our QBO Quick Start course, which if you want more information about that course after we go through the exercise, be sure to click on the link below. But let's go ahead and dive in and read through our scenario. Craig contracted with Bill's windsurf shop to custom design their front patio. He ended up spending 5 hours on it, and now that the work is done, it's time to send an invoice. Later, Bill sends check number 123 in the amount of $460 to cover both this invoice and a previous one he had outstanding. Let's see how to record all of this. Now, you will need to be in the sample company to do this exercise. If you are not sure how to get into the sample company or get your own free QBOA account, be sure to click on the link in the description. I have the sample company here on the left side of my screen. Once you sign in, this is what it will look like. This is the dashboard. So let's go ahead and get started with the exercise. The first thing we need to do is click on the plus new button and then click on invoice. So the plus new button is on the top left corner of the screen. Click on that, and then under customers is invoice. Now, once it comes up, we will begin filling it out. Now, as a note here, this exercise uses the old style layout for invoices, which we can see right here. If you want to challenge yourself, you can do it in the new layout. So you would just click on Update Layout in order to get that new layout, but we're going to continue on using that old format. So just keep that in mind as you're going through the exercise. So in the customer field, we want to select Bill's Windsurf Shop. So the customer field is right here. If you click on that down arrow, Bill's Windsurf Shop is the second one that is listed here. Click on his name. And once you do, you will see that his information will appear for you. Now we're going to leave the terms and the invoice date fields as is. This is going to default to today. In a real life scenario, you would want to adjust this for the customer based on the terms set forth and the date of the invoice. But for this exercise, we can leave it as is. All right, so on the first line in the product service field, let's go ahead and select design. So the product service field is right here. Click into it, and then you can click the down arrow. Design happens to be the first one that is listed here, so go ahead and click on that. You will see other information populate here for you, and that is because when design was set up in the products and services, there was some information that was used as the default, such as the rate as $75, which we're going to leave as is. However, he had done 5 hours of work here, so we need to, in the quantity field, update it to 5. So click in that quantity field, delete the 1, and then go ahead and type a 5. When you hit the tab key, you will see that QBO automatically makes the calculation of 5 times 75 to equal 375. So this invoice is all good to go. All we need to do is click on the down arrow next to Save and Send and then select Save and Close. So Save and Send is on the bottom right corner. And in a real life scenario, if you wanted to actually send this electronically to the customer, you could just click on this Save and Send button. But since we can't actually do that here in the sample company, we're just going to close it out. So click on the down arrow next to it and then select Save and Close. And you will notice now it should pop up here that the invoice has been saved. And there you go, right there. All right, so now let's go ahead and receive the payment. Bill sent in check number 123 in the amount of $460 to cover both this and an old outstanding invoice. So let's see how to record that. We're once again going to click on that plus new button and then click on receive payment this time. So the plus new button on the top left corner, click on that, and then under customers is receive payment, select that. And then once the transaction appears, we're going to, in the customer field, select Bill's Wind Surf Shop. Now you can go ahead and type his name to have it appear for you, or you can click the down arrow. Happens to be towards the top of the list since it's all in alphabetical order. So go ahead and click on his name once you find it, and you will see the invoices that are associated with his account show up down here. Now we're going to leave this payment date field as is. It's going to default today, which was fine for the purpose of this exercise. Of course, in real life, you want to make sure that this date matches the date of the actual payment being received. Dates are super important as you're doing bookkeeping, so just keep that in mind as you are working on the books. Now we want to apply the payment that he has sent in to both of these invoices. So we're going to click on the checkbox on the top to select all, which is right here. And you will see that QBO is automatically assuming that the payment is going to match what the open balance is, which in this case is perfectly fine. He had sent in a check for $460, so that amount received box is perfect as it is. We need to update the payment method field to say check. So that is right here. Click the down arrow and then select check. And then in the reference number field, we want to type 123 since that was the check number. So go ahead and do that. And you'll notice here that because this is a check, the deposit to field is going to remain as undeposited funds. Now, undeposited funds in QBO is a holding account until you actually physically deposit the money into the bank. Once that happens in real life, you would use a separate bank deposit transaction, which is out of the scope of this particular exercise, but just know that that is the pathway to use when you are receiving payment and then it actually gets deposited. So we're going to leave this as undeposited funds. We have nothing left to update here, so all we need to do now is just click on the Save and Close button. The Save and Close button is on the bottom right corner of the screen. Click on that. And now that receive payment transaction has been saved. And that is how you would add an invoice and receive payment. Now, if you like this exercise and you want to do more like it, or you would like more information about that QBO Quick Start course, be sure to click on the link in the description, and I will see you next time.